Hello, welcome back to Swinging at Shins. Aaron and I now live in a blurry world. We figured that might be better than seeing the background of where we live. If you want to see that, look at any of the other episodes because we just started doing this. Aaron, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay, but City's winning, so I'm not okay.
Yep, no one's okay in the soccer world right now. Maybe Barcelona fans are probably pretty okay.
Why?
Because they won the league, and then it looks like Real's going to get knocked out of the Champions League.
Well,
so Barcelona fans are fine.
They got chased off the field by, who was it?
Espanyol?
Yeah, that's who it is. Because they did Ring Around the Rosie. I don't think that was a bright idea, but whatever. I don't know things.
I don't know what's a good idea anymore. Soccer has failed me. We really got to stop doing that. Anyway. Sorry, I just noticed there is a big dent in my mic.
Yeah.
But in like this top part. I will fix that later.
Yeah, I don't think.
Let's get on to announcements before we get completely off the rails. I hate when podcasts talk about anything other than the podcast for the first 10 minutes. First big announcement is we will not have an episode next Thursday because we will be live streaming from the Beer Garden in Albany for the final match day of the season on the 28th. It's going to be great. I want to get some guys on. I know Woodsy wants to be on. Going to talk to some of the Arsenal guys. We can commiserate and drink together. It'll be great.
It'll be depressing.
No, we do. All right, tell you what. For every Aston Villa fan I get 2 Arsenal guys.
I think I can find one.
There you go. And I get 2, so everybody's happy. We might find a City fan if I can find one I don't want to hit.
He doesn't mean that.
No, a couple of them I want to hit. A couple of them are cool. A couple of them I want to hit. Also going on at the Beer Garden that day is the Habitat for Humanity fundraiser. If I still have all my facts straight, all beer sales between 11 and 2 or something like that, 10% of those beer sales will go to Habitat for Humanity.
So drink a lot.
Yeah,
but also don't
drink a lot. I'm going to be drinking a lot. I'm going to have to watch, drinking Uber, drinking Lyft, drinking, have a designated driver like we did in the past. Mm-hmm. But drink a lot. I will be drinking a lot because I think we have to start with the biggest match of last week in terms of title implications. Mm-hmm. Arsenal 0, Brighton 3. You thought Arsenal was going to drop points. You just picked the wrong game, hopefully. Yeah. This one was bad. It was definitely bad the second half. The second half was bad.
It was Arsenal really didn't do a good enough job with their chances in the first half is what it came down to, really. There was plenty of opportunities to score, and they skimmed it across goal a number of times. And I think that's really what has been lacking is their I don't want to say really the final third, but their final third, really. On both ends.
It's not just the final third. It's the complete lack of being clinical in any way.
Okay, that's fair. When I mean final third, I really mean finishing. I don't mean
it's just finishing. It is. Well, the problem is I still think the problem starts all the way at the back. They're not building up correctly, which means we're not getting the chances. We're not controlling the games. Because we're not controlling the games, we're rushing up front, and rushing's leading to bad finishing.
True.
That's what it looks like. And I'm not trying to say that all of our problems would be solved, and we definitely would have won the league if it wasn't for X, Y, and Z, because people get injuries. I get it. But you can tell that we were a young team, and I think that more of it ends up on the fact that we did not have squad depth as opposed to we just can't handle the fight. Because we lost a couple guys. Apparently Party, and I don't know if this is true, but apparently Party's been playing like crap because he has a hamstring injury.
Well, that makes
he had a knock that he was trying to play through, and he wasn't. Now, I don't know if that's true.
I don't know. I think it is, because if you look back at that City match, it felt like he was a part of – he wanted no business marking De Bruyne at all. He was always given –
No one wants to mark De Bruyne when De Bruyne is playing Arsenal.
You know what I mean.
I agree with you.
I
also wonder how much of that is a psychological effect of I went from having Saliba behind me to Rob Holding behind me.
True. You're trying to fill a gap, and Rob Holding's also trying to come up and attack the offense, and it's a whole mismatch thing going on right now.
Yep. I mean, everyone's talking about how good Granit Xhaka has been this year. Well, he's playing in a different role. He's more box to box, and he's better that way. And while I do agree, I think a lot of it is he doesn't feel like the last man back. And there were times when you didn't know where Rob Holding was going to be.
True.
You didn't know where Cedric Suarez was going to be.
Yep.
As much as I love Big Gabby, especially this year, Big Gabby has aged up a lot and been playing much more mature. So last year wasn't as good. And then Tierney was injured for a lot of last year. We didn't have Zinchenko. It's when you have a solid defensive line behind you, you are willing to take more risks up front, and you don't play cautious.
Yep.
So I see everyone talking about, well, they just didn't have the mentality. It's like, yeah, you know what else we didn't have? Gundogan, who suddenly is Zinedine Zidane, and Kyle Walker, who suddenly is playing great. He played like crap for half the season, and suddenly he's playing fantastic. And I'm not going to get into all the whys or why nots, but this is what a lot of people were saying halfway through the season. It's going to be squad depth, and I think they were exactly right.
Unfortunately, yeah, but that's something that would be addressed in the summertime. I mean, having the ability to hang Champions League in front of Champions League in front of players is pretty
enticing.
Enticing is the word. A pretty enticing piece of incentive to want to come.
Well, and you look at the project here. Not only is Arsenal going to be in the Champions League, Arsenal is second place by about 15 points. In fact, I think it's 15 points as of today. We're recording on the 17th. So we're in second place by 15 points. We're going to take City to the second to last weekend. So there's that. Hey, and we got chased down by City. Liverpool got chased down by City 3 times.
It's true.
I'm not trying to take copium, but I've been a fan of this team for a long time. And anyone who thinks that this is a bottle job, no, last year was a bottle job. Last year, just imploding at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, imploding at Everton, just unable to win game. This, we were at least able to draw. Yes, we went through a series of draws.
Yeah.
We would have lost those games last year with the mentality that we had. We got caught, and it happens to a lot of teams. And yes, they were winnable games, sure. West Ham was trying damn hard to make sure that they weren't going to get relegated, which as of 5:38, they technically have less than 1% chance, which is still a chance.
Yep.
Not that I'm rooting for that, but
me neither.
It's one of those. If this bottle job feels better than last year's bottle job, I don't care if the prize was bigger. I'm much happier with this team. We're going to end up 7 or 8 points off of City.
If I had told you that you finished second, points aside, you finish second, and you get Champions League. If I told you this last season, what do you tell me?
Oh, yeah. I'd love it. I'd love it. Absolutely. Yeah. Jump up and down. Probably tell you I don't believe you.
So then that's even more incentive that this season.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if we had this stretch of draws in November, if the World Cup didn't happen and we had the stretch of draws in November and December, and then we had our stretch of wins in March and April, and now we're chasing down, everything ends up exactly the same way, then people go, wow, Arsenal looks really good for next year.
It's true. Yeah, I like it all. It's all timing, and the timing of it is really unfortunate for Arsenal, and the timing of it for City is kind of normal for them. So,
yeah, this is what they do.
Yeah,
and a lot of it is Pep. I mean, I'm not trying to say it's all squad depth. I'm not trying to say that they bought everybody, and that's the only reason why they win. They have guys that know how to turn it on, and that's true. We have guys that know how to turn it on, and we have more guys than we did last year, but we still don't have enough.
Well,
Pep's also been doing this forever.
I forgot who was talking about this, but the ability for Pep to be able to just go and pluck a player specifically to his system and pay whatever amount of money is such an advantage over anybody in the league that it's not really a surprise that they win almost every year or are in a title race every year. And like Grealish They signed Grealish for 100 million pounds. Everybody thought they were crazy. Now they're looking at him like, well, Grealish is actually a good player. You know.
Yep.
They went and got Alvarez. I'm sure that nobody really knew about Alvarez. They paid dirt cheap for him, and look at what he ended up being. It still is growing to be. It's so easy to be able to throw out money to get a player that fits.
And the thing is right there. They're not Todd bullying it.
No,
they're not just buying anybody. I'm not trying. And the difference was the City right now reminds me of the Yankees in like the late 90s.
Yeah.
They have a good core group of guys.
Yep.
Some of them. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and we can talk about it's not like you have a farm system in soccer. Yes, you have the academy, and that's true. And Arsenal has a decent amount of academy boys that's up right now. That's true. But our best players we bought later. You know, that's just kind of the way it is. Apart from Bukayo Saka, who's probably our best player. Yeah, I mean, yes. Odegaard's from Real Madrid's academy, technically. But the difference is they always have the money, and the Yankees in the 90s always had the ability to go get that one or two players that they need every season.
Yep.
They don't have to miss. Well, which they don't buy everybody, but the guys that they want, they make sure that they get. They went out and then got the best coach to make sure that whatever guy they want is always the guy that they need.
Yeah.
But they don't. I mean, Arsenal and the whole Mudryk thing that happened, we pivoted wonderfully, and Trossard and Jorginho and even Kivior. I don't know. I think we'd be in an even worse position if we didn't have Kivior to take over for Rob Holding right now.
Oh my goodness, it would have been brutal.
So
many more points.
It was a great January window, but we didn't get Saicedo. We didn't get Mudryk. You know, we got none of our first choices because we kept getting outbid, or the player signed a new contract and was convinced. Yeah. Quite frankly, Brighton was probably like, "Can people just let us finish the season, please? Stop picking our bones."
We want to try to get Champions League or some sort of European tournament. Please leave us alone. I'm sure, actually, thinking like Caicedo's probably going to leave, but it's going to take more than what it would have been in the wintertime to sign him because of his contract.
Yep, and it could take more, or it could just be a lot of times. I think those winter contracts get signed in we're going to give you a little bit more money, just stay until we find a replacement.
No, that could be true.
We don't leave us now. It's in the middle of the season. We don't have a replacement lined up for you. Don't leave us now.
Mm-hmm.
You can leave in the summer because, I mean, a lot of these things are done long beforehand. Most of these things, this isn't FIFA where you pick a player and you decide and you go through skip cutscene. I'm going to pay you this much. Skip cutscene. I'm going to give you this big of a contract. Okay, we're done. That's not how this works.
Hold square.
Mm-hmm.
Hold square.
Hold square. You know, that's not how any of this works. A lot of these jobs get done, and Brighton's like, we can't sell you halfway through the January window and have anybody ready to replace you.
True. I don't know. Maybe they might have, but they just don't know about it right now.
Well, I think they didn't because they didn't let him go. I mean, they let Trossard go, and
then they still had Matoma and
because they knew they had Matoma and they were going to be fine. And then Saicedo was like, "No, don't go anywhere. We don't have anyone for you." It's the same thing. Like if someone came and said, before he got injured, here's $100 million for Saliba. Does it sound enticing? Absolutely. Can we lose Saliba? No, because now we're going to lose Champions League. And what is the knock-on effect of losing Champions League? All right, we don't have Champions League this year, so we can't get better players. We can't get better players, so we don't have Champions League next year. Okay, we don't have Champions League next year. Now we don't have better players. So now it's not missing out on one season of Champions League. It's missing out on 4 seasons of Champions League because you took $100 million up front.
Yep.
That's, it's tough, and if this is a bottle job and everyone wants to laugh at us, I would rather be laughed at for missing out on the title to City than be laughed at for missing out on Champions League to Spurs.
That's true.
And I didn't have to watch Rob Holding get a red card against Spurs. So there's that. Moving on.
Yes, sir.
News dropped today. We came back to it. Ivan Toney came back. Aaron and I were thinking for a while that maybe we hallucinated the whole thing, but Ivan Toney did, in fact, gamble a bunch on matches, and he is suspended with immediate effect for the next 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
think if it went any longer than a year, then I think that would have been too much. I think 8 months is actually a right number. And I hate reading. I don't know why I did this to myself, but I was reading the comments for, when Athletic posted or Sky Sports or whatever. And people are saying, "Oh, it's because of his race and blah blah blah." I'm like, guy, he also bet. Like, if this was the NFL, MLB, any American sport,
We know what it would be if it was the MLB.
You're done.
Yeah.
Like Calvin Ridley for the Falcons. Well, now the Jaguars, but he was caught gambling, suspended indefinitely. So really, 8 months is kind of a slap on the wrist. Don't do it again.
Yeah, I agree. It's barely over 1 day for every charge he admitted to. Yeah. Comes out to a little over almost 8 months. Because he admitted to, I think, 232 of the 262 charges. And I don't know. I don't know if they even released all the information. If they did, I didn't read it.
You're correct. He admitted to 230.
And I don't know if they could prove the other 30. I don't know if they cared.
Probably was like,
but hey, that's just over a day for every breach. And I don't know. There's the first time offenders kind of argument.
True.
But you also know what you're doing is wrong.
Yep.
And first time offenders like, oh, well, and I'm not defending like the 3-strike rule. I think that's all dumb. But to not punish a guy more for 230 plus. But again, I mean, I don't know. I also don't necessarily have a problem with gambling on games if you're always gambling to win.
Do you think he's being made of an example at this point? Like, how many? I don't know how many times people have been caught gambling in the Premier League, or
I don't know how many times either. To be honest, I haven't heard it happen before.
Right.
I'm not saying it's never happened before.
Abuse of fans and players. And
all right. So if he bet 262 times on games that he played in, and he always bet to win, I don't care.
It's still your breaking the rules.
If he scored a goal in the first half, went in, said, "I bet that Ivan Toney stays on 1 goal," and then did his best to not score anymore, now I do really care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna So it's a perfect example is in baseball. And this isn't a betting thing, but in baseball, there's something called the cycle. It's when you have a single, a double, a triple, and a home run all in one game. Mm-hmm. There will be times where a guy only needs a single and he hits one into the gap that could be a double or maybe a triple, but he stops at first because he wants a single for the cycle. And everyone applauds that because it's a thing. Cycles are kind of luck.
Yeah.
They're also something that doesn't happen a lot, and that's fine. So, okay, I bet that I'm going to have 2 goals this game. Okay, so now you're on a hat trick in the 60th minute, but you're not going to score another one because you're going to lose out on 2,000 euros or pounds, whatever money they have over there. That's what bothers me. So again, if you were just betting, I bet my team's going to win every game. I don't care. You bet my team's going to lose, now I have a problem because you're not trying your hardest anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the nature of the gambling makes a big difference, but it's also like there's a bunch of arguments like this where, if everyone was trustworthy, it wouldn't be a problem, but everyone's not trustworthy, so you can't do it at all.
Right. I think this is a fine suspension. He also gets to train the last 4 months or 3 months of the suspension. Like right now, he obviously can't have any contact, but at the end of the 3 or 4 months, I can't quite remember, but he's allowed to train with Brentford. So it's not like he won't come out stone cold either and then have to play with the U23s in order to get minutes back up. So,
yeah.
This is probably something where we're going to be an example of you. We're going to make it an example of you. Sorry it had to be you, but also don't do it again.
Yeah, I'm still not sure that 8 months is an example. I think calendar year or more, because 1 year sounds heavier. And if we're making an example, it's got to be about how bad it sounds.
They also did it while the summertime, while he can be on vacation.
But that doesn't matter because it's still. And I was about to bring this up. So if everyone says they waited till the summertime to do it, yes, that's true, they did. But when you suspend someone for this, they cannot be paid. That's what the suspension is. It's not punishing of the team necessarily.
Yeah.
That's how every fan feels because now my top goal scorer can't play.
Sure.
But he's not going to be getting money anymore. He's suspended without pay.
Well, I mean, he can gamble some more.
Well, he could gamble some more. That is true. Bet on City to win everything, apparently.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that is. It is now 4-0. I want to die.
I saw somebody had an own goal. I don't know who it was.
No, it doesn't matter. Although it makes me feel better. I mean, semifinal and City. If we do get chased down by the City team that wins the treble, I don't want to hear the word bottle. I don't want to hear the word bottle ever again.
Do you really feel bad?
Because they just beat everybody.
Yeah.
Although I already have a soft spot for Inter.
You're rooting. Well,
no. I would still rather have them lose. I would still rather have them lose.
Yeah.
But if they do win, at least I have that.
Yeah.
Speaking of teams that find it difficult to win.
Oof.
Right now, Luton Town, Sunderland, Coventry City, and Middlesbrough are playing for the right to not have to face Southampton in the championship next year. Because Southampton is going down.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
I mean, we've kind of been calling this a while ago, but
24 points through 36.
They try to make it interesting.
I don't know if Southampton made it interesting.
Well,
the rest of the relegation battle that we're going to get to in a minute is interesting. I don't think Southampton really. Well, 24 points through 36. If they win out, they will have 30.
Which isn't enough.
Which is far from the worst side to ever be in a Premier League spot. But
no, if they win out, it's not 30. It's 33. Either way, still in the bottom.
They have 2 more games.
It's
you get 3 points for a win.
Oh, gosh darn it. American math for you.
2 cups and a pint.
Yeah, you want to keep going? No.
2 cups and a pint, 2 pints in a quart, 4 quarts in a gallon. Eat me.
No. I mean, you're right. Yes, you're right.
I don't know if I'm right. I don't remember.
No, you're actually right.
Anyway. Southampton, 30 points. That's hardly the worst. And at the beginning of the season, when Leicester and Wolves and Southampton and Bournemouth were all playing the who can get the least amount of points ever, I think we all thought that 20th was going to have a lot less points.
It's true.
But still not good enough.
It was a strong bottom.
Yeah. They're sitting on 6 wins, 6 draws, 24 losses.
Oh, that's so painful.
That is very painful.
In reverse, Arsenal are 25-6-5. So it's almost the same.
Almost. We're almost the exact opposite of Southampton.
Yeah.
Which I like because Southampton and Arsenal almost have an identical age of squad. They're both like 24.89 or something like that.
Yeah.
Next up above them, Leicester City sitting on 30 points.
Oof.
Leicester looked very poor.
Oof.
They continue to look poor.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to look poor next year in the championship.
Probably because they're going to lose 4 or 5 main players. Although they might get probably 35 for each, average 35 each.
But is the money going to stay in the club?
I don't know. That's fair.
And who do they have to replace like the entirety of their defense?
I have no idea. That defense is terrible. I mean, like, if you're a promoted club, you might look at those players. Like, who the hell would I want to sign? There's probably just one. I can't think of who it is off the top of my head. There's a couple. I might sign Ricardo Pereira. Sun Yunchu's going to Real Madrid for free.
Of course he is.
Justin Thomas is good. Try again. James Justin. The guy has 2 first names. Come on.
There you go.
And Luke Thomas, who also has 2 first names.
Has 2 first names.
Castagna's not terrible. But other than that.
All right, so
that defense needs to be rebuilt.
Iheanacho, Madison, Tielemans, and Didi, all guaranteed to leave pretty much. I can't imagine any one of them playing in the championship.
Did you say Harvey Barnes as well?
I did not.
And yeah, I think Harvey Barnes would go.
But Harvey Barnes as well.
Yes, all of those guys I think would walk. Well, would try to find a better.
I think they will find a better. I don't know. I think Leicester is going to spend 2 or 3 years down the championship righting the ship, and that's if things go well. I honestly, and I think that's the sucker punch.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they manage to stay up, this year,
God bless them.
Everyone's going to go, woo, yay. Next year's going to be bad.
Because then they're going to have to sell all them players.
Next year's going to be real bad because those guys aren't going to stay.
No.
And
Adios.
I wouldn't stay for another year of getting punched around in Leicester.
So I was watching T-Foil, and they had said what was the reasoning for the downfall of Leicester. And long and short of it was Brendan Rodgers is a good coach, but they trailed away from the Leicester model, which was buy young players, sell the good players that they have, sell one good player each window. And they did that with, he played for Villa for a hot minute. Well, N'Golo Kante and Forehead, Harry Maguire. There was another player that walked.
Which, I mean, the Harry Maguire thing, they look
Danny
like
Drinkwater.
Fleeced United.
Danny Drinkwater. And Fofana. They all did that model there, but they went and signed players like Yannick Vestergaard and another age-old player too that is escaping my name, but I'm not going to bother with it. But the point is they diverted from their model. And also because of COVID, because King Power is travel agency kind of ish. So they took a ton of money. They took a big hit on money on that too. So that's a lot.
Well, it's also, I don't want to blame the kids, but in a way, when the helicopter crashed, it is terrible. And I'm not making light of it. I'm being very serious. But when I almost feel like everything could kind of go back to that. And I'm not saying that he would have done anything different. And I know that COVID changes everything, but
yeah.
The club started being run differently around when that happened. And there's some reasons for it.
Yeah.
And even some of those reasons are justified and even some of those reasons are right. But Leicester City has been a yo-yo club for a very long time.
They almost got bounced out before the year that they...
The year before they were down. They were bottom of the table at Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a flash in the pan, and they've been able to stay very good because they had that generational group of kids.
Yeah.
That just, and also Jamie Vardy. Which, for anyone who doesn't know the Jamie Vardy story, he is the actual story of that Mark Wahlberg Eagles kicker who's like, oh, I'm going to go play in the NFL because I'm good. Yeah. Like, he was like a construction worker playing in like the lower leagues, like Sunday leagues. And and also N'Golo Kante, exact same thing in France. He wasn't a construction worker, I don't believe. I don't know what he did. But same thing, playing Sunday leagues. He was playing amateur stuff. Mm-hmm. And scouts saw him, and the next thing you know, he did, and then he's holding a Premier League trophy and getting sold off to Chelsea.
Yep.
And then holding Champions League trophies.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I mean, how different has Chelsea been since N'Golo Kante came back? They're still a mess, but they're a mess with some shape.
I mean, I'd said when they finally get Kante back and he gets a few games under his feet, they're going to look somewhat better. They won't get relegated.
Speaking of things that hurt, but I can put a positive spin on, Chelsea, I forgot to put it in the notes. Chelsea have got their man. Mauricio Pochettino is coming to Chelsea.
Yeah.
And I am not that excited about it.
I wouldn't be either. I'm not.
Although he's not good at holding egos. We learned that at PSG.
It's true.
And right now, Chelsea is a dressing room full of egos.
It's literally the.
But
they
if
had
he
to
succeeds
change their
there,
doors.
if he succeeds there, Spurs misery.
So which one would you like to see? The success of Chelsea for Spurs misery?
Never the success of Chelsea. Because Spurs will find misery somewhere else anyway. It is the history of Tottenham.
Yeah.
But Chelsea just Chelsea will
keep failing up, man.
Yep, do not want that at all.
Found out the who will go to Wembley for the EFL playoff championship.
And it is
Luton Town and Coventry City.
Coventry City and Luton Town. One of those two teams will be in the Premier League next year.
Yeah. So you know the whole story of Luton Town, right?
I don't know. I'm not willing to say I know the whole story of half the Premier League clubs, much less Luton Town.
Oh, okay. Sorry. But
I know Luton Town used to be like a team I would play when I did I'm going to do the player mode on FIFA and FIFA 15 and then immediately get put on loan to a League 2 sides. That's what I know of Luton Town. Also, I believe they have a top hat in their logo.
Yes, they're called
their badge. Well, there you go.
Actually, it's a really cool logo too. If anybody checks it out,
we understand it's a badge. We're sorry.
Anyway, the point is they're
they got a beehive too.
They're exactly what Wrexham want to be. They were a non-league champion, non-league squad, and in the last, I believe, 8 or 10 years, they have worked their way up to a Wembley position and could be promoted.
Okay, so first of all, it is not a top hat. I'm sorry, but I did remember the hat, and you should be happy I remember anything. Secondly, logo is dope.
Right.
I want a little bit of a re-badge. I wonder when the last time they had a new badge was, because this has got too much of the. Do you remember in the mid 2000s when everyone got super into family history and family crests in America?
Yes.
And every family crest had that same super stylized mid 2000s logo BS. Mm-hmm. Luton Town kind of has that going on, but the pieces that make up the badge are awesome.
Yes. So
it's white cross in the middle, and then you have your 4 quadrants, a very cool looking haystack in the top left, a old style beehive in the top right. I want to say a daisy, maybe a white poppy. I don't know my flowers well enough, and it's a cartoon stylized flower, so I don't know. And then the bottom right's a thistle. I know that. And then the middle's a bee, and on top of it, I don't know what kind of hat it is, but I know it's not a top hat. Anyway, great logo. Phenomenal.
Oh, it's like a
I'm
straw
rooting for
hat
Luton
hat?
Town for that.
It's like a straw hat.
It's definitely colored like a straw hat.
I'm not sure how to I know what you're going for.
Oh my god. Okay, Luton's Town logo before in 87, from 73 to 87 was bad.
Oh, well, so you're saying this is the upgrade?
Yes, this is a massive upgrade. I'm going to send it to you. And in fact, I think I'm actually going to remind myself real quick how to get this up into StreamYard for you guys, because this is something special.
Oh my goodness.
Woof.
That looks like something that
bad.
they tried to call back from the 19th century.
All right, cool. I can share screen, so I am just going to pull this guy up real quick. Hit present, hit share screen. Easiest with 2 monitors. You are right. And I want that one and allow. Whoa. Look at that thing. Oh,
that's tough.
That is tough. And you know what? The worst part is there's a decent logo in there.
Yeah.
But it's not what they ended up with.
I'm happy for the logo that they have now, and it's quality. So
yeah, that's bad. I don't like that at all. I found out something else interesting today.
Sure, hit me.
I watched a thing on #United. Same guy who did the history of the entire Premier League video. Vizeh, something like that. Actually, as I guess technically a fellow YouTuber, I should figure out what he is. And then I will also link him in the description because he's actually a really good channel.
Yes, he is. He's fun to listen to.
Let me find this real quick and let me see if I can say his name right.
Okay.
Vizeh.
Hold music.
Vizeh. That is our hold music. He was talking. It's a video. I think it came out a month ago about #United. And the #United guy, I think it's John Spencer or something like that, said when they got accepted into the FA in League 10, they were told to change their name because it didn't have a specific place name in it. Which not only are they not the only ones that don't have that, they just don't like #United. Port Vale is not a place. I thought for sure Port Vale was just some English town I had never heard of, or some Welsh town I'd never heard of. Not a place. Does not exist.
So where are they located?
Physically. No idea. Also, technically, where is Aston's Villa?
In Birmingham.
Yeah, but is it like an actual place? Are you guys a building? Birmingham City does the entire city, but Aston Villa is just one building? Just some rich guy's house? Come on.
Hey, don't you dare bring the They don't deserve anything. That's why they're in the championship. Port Vale is located. Jesus, I have no idea.
Stoke-on-Trent.
So are they in Stoke?
They must be in Stoke. Well, they're in Stoke-on-Trent.
Often abbreviated to Stoke.
Really? Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Port Villa being abbreviated to Stoke. I'm like, they're
in the West Midlands. So it would be a Midland derby if they came up. Sort of.
Oh. Midland derbies. Have a real derby, all right? Birmingham City and Austin Villa. That's a real derby.
If we freaking would, if Birmingham would actually, try, but
Yeah, we say have a real derby. Like Midlands is farther apart than Boston and New York. Yeah, all right. I'm not going to read why Port Vale is what they are. What I am going to talk about is who else might be joining the members of the championship.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 points separate Forest from Leicester, and they're sandwiching Leeds and Everton. Leicester sit on, if I'm doing this correctly, hold on. I am looking at the wrong one. I'm looking at the championship. Right, everyone sits on 36 games. Oh. Leicester City have 30 points. Leeds United have 31. Everton have 32. Forest have 34. Nottingham Forest has a goal differential of -31. It's the worst by a lot. Leicester City have a goal difference of -18. Mm-hmm. Leeds United and Everton both have goal differences of -25 and -24, respectively. So goal difference might play a part with those two. Mm-hmm. It will not play a part with anyone else. Mm-mm. Leicester City have Newcastle away and West Ham at home.
Yep.
Leeds have West Ham away and Spurs at home. Everton have Wolves away, Bournemouth at home, and Forest have Arsenal at home and Palace away.
So?
I know last week you were talking big ups about Forest and Arsenal.
Yes, I did.
I don't think that's going to happen anymore because I think that this is going to be Arsenal's get-right game.
Oh.
And the last time we played Forest, it was 5-0.
That was at the Emirates. You haven't played at the race
We play better away from home.
Yeah, and Forest play better at home. Like the whole thing we said where Liverpool and the Anfield atmosphere is crazy. Same thing with Racehorse. I'm comparing the two. They're the same thing.
Well, first of all, they're not because nobody has. You never walk alone. And secondly, Anfield turns into a library once they're done singing You Never Walk Alone.
Ooh.
Unless it's a very big game.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that Arteta's just going to play 11 pissed off guys. I don't know who the 11 is going to be. I think he's going to have a big rollover. Not a huge rollover.
Yeah.
Gabriel Martinelli's out for the rest of the year with ankle ligament damage. He's supposed to be back by preseason friendlies, hopefully, but that's not good to hear. I wouldn't be surprised to see Matt Turner play over Ramsdale.
Oh, that would be fun.
Especially with Ramsdale's recent comments of, I thought this would be easier.
Oh, dear. I didn't know he said that.
He just turned 25.
Oh, what a child. Summer child.
Also, he's used to being relegated, so...
Oh, well, that's true, too.
I thought it'd be easier. Everyone beats you and you play in an easier league. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I expect him just to play 11 pissed off guys. And quite frankly, I think that Arsenal will play a lot better. And I think Arsenal, even on a bad day, is better than Forest. That being said, Forest is in the best spot because if everybody loses, Forest stays up.
That's true.
They actually have a little bit of wiggle room. It depends on what teams can do. So you look at Leeds. Leeds have West Ham away and Spurs at home.
Yes.
Everton have Wolves away and Bournemouth at home. I think Everton's got the easiest fixtures.
Yes, agreed.
It depends on how Spurs want to play. I could really see Spurs coming in the final day of the season and Harry Kane wanting to go out with a banger and getting a hat trick. And I could also see Spurs just limping into the last game of the season saying, please, God, can we just be done?
I just want the season to end. It's been so strange.
It has. I don't know. I think Newcastle away and West Ham at home. I think Leicester it's guaranteed to go down. Not only would Leicester, Leicester also has to have other teams drop points.
Yeah. So even if they pick up, they'll be at 36 points. And if everyone else picks up wins around them, they're still 36. So that'd be 37. Yeah, they really need help.
That's assuming everyone's going to win all the games. I don't think that's going to happen. If Leicester wins one and draws one,
yeah,
that's 4 points. That puts them at 34. That would put them equal with Forest right now. If Forest lose and Everton draw the next two, Leicester City would stay up on goal difference.
Yeah, the goal difference is going to be huge for
could potentially be huge for Leicester.
Sure.
I just don't think it's going to matter.
The problem was they drew to Leeds and Everton in their previous matches, most notably. And if they had pulled wins out of there, I don't think we're talking about Leicester in the bottom. It's bad. It's bad.
Well, that would be 4 more points. They would be 16th.
Yep.
So, no, we're not talking about them. We're talking about them saying just don't get beat by a lot.
Don't bottle it.
Yeah, don't bottle it.
That's
although to be frank, 16th to 20th is who can shit themselves the least. So
it's true.
I don't know.
They've already done it all season.
I think Everton will be safe. I think Sean Dyche can get. He's going to get at least 3 points.
I'm not saying that that sigh was not me saying that they aren't going to be safe. It was the thought of them next year. Are they going to? How that's going to be? Because they're dovetailing down right now.
Well, see, since Burnley's the new city, that's not true. What's Burnley? Burnley's the new Brighton. Arsenal's the new city. Everton can be the new Burnley.
Okay. I think they'll not be okay with that, but.
Well, again, Burnley's in the championship right now.
They also have
for long.
Sean Dyche. They have Sean Dyche, so it really does actually make sense.
Oh, that's why I thought of it.
Well, I'm helping for the rest of the viewers and listeners who.
Yeah, Sean Dyche was a Burnley coach for a very long time.
Yeah. But
Burnley now being coached by Vincent Kompany.
Yes.
And he had them destroy the championship.
Yes, he did.
I think Everton's safe, and quite frankly, I think Forest are probably safe too. I think it's going to stay the way it is.
How I'm feeling. So this will be what? When was the last time 3 promoted teams stayed up?
Stayed up?
Yeah. Hold on, I can actually look that up in a moment.
While he's looking that up, the Albany Gooners have new merch, and it is dope.
It is fire.
We also have a dad hat for people with tiny, tiny little heads.
Hey, actually, I don't have a tiny head.
I was going to say. Not only to Everton, while you're looking that up, not only to Everton and Nottingham Forest control their own destinies, they also have the easier run of fixtures.
Mm-hmm. This is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to be.
Yep.
Because I'm clicking through table instead of actually typing it in because I'm smashing.
That's rough.
And now I've given up. Okay. Nope, you're just gonna go for it. That's fair. If I had to guess,
17-18.
damn, I was gonna guess 16-17.
17-18, it says.
Swansea City, Stoke City, West Brom. And I think the people who stayed up, Hutters, Watford, I believe. And Burnley, I think, was the other one that got promoted that year.
I will choose to believe you because I'm not looking all that up either.
Okay.
Instead, we are moving on.
Was that the year? Go ahead. Just continue.
We're moving on.
I said just continue, damn it.
Bye-bye. We got a goalkeeper dilemma coming up for two big teams.
Mm-hmm.
Spurs and United.
Yeah.
It looks like Lloris and De Gea. I mean, end of an era with those two.
They were so good. They were so class.
Not only that, but both those teams cannot keep their backups.
No, that's true. That's true.
Do you have anyone that comes to mind?
Well, I've heard sad rumors that Spurs want Emi Martinez, but I don't know why he would take a step down. So there's that.
I also think anyone can play for any team. That's true, but Emi Martinez spent a lot of time at Arsenal, and
as much as I like Emi Martinez as well, he has a massive ego. And, as a top goalkeeper, sometimes you have to have a massive ego. You really got to believe in yourself. As a top professional player, you really have to believe in yourself. So the ego is really not a surprise. But I just don't think moving to Spurs would be a good decision on his part, especially if Harry Kane leaves. So what's the point? You're stuck with Richarlison as your top striker? No, pass.
If Harry Kane leaves, I don't know where the hell Spurs are.
10th.
They're gonna have
a decent squad, but
remember when they won the summer transfer window?
Yeah, I do. Not true though. I don't even remember who they signed at that point. Oh, because they signed Richarlison that year.
They signed Richarlison and they signed. Oh, I forget who Emerson Royale, I think.
Oh, poopy.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not terrible. He's okay. He's just not like what they expected him to be.
No, they signed Emerson Royale 2 years ago.
Did they sign Kulusevski? No, that was.
No, Kulo's been there for a while. Pedro Porro.
That was a winter
loan,
time.
I think.
That was a winter time.
Yeah, that was winter time. Who did you guys sign? Oh, Basuma.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
don't forget about Fraser Foster. Don't forget about him.
Now you're looking at this team and you're just like, I don't understand what you guys do if you sell Harry Kane. I mean, I know that I'm a bit biased, but the banter years for Spurs might be back.
I can't blame Harry Kane if he wants to leave, but we're talking about goalkeepers too, so I don't really have an initial thought on who they would go and sign. There are plenty of goalkeepers that they could go and sign. I just off the top, you're not getting anybody from relegated squads. I've already gone through that in my head. There's nobody there.
No.
Let me just think for a second. You could try to go sign the AC Milan goalkeeper. He's French. He's good. He's pretty much the next replacement for Lloris in the national squad.
Would you leave AC Milan? Maybe for United. I wouldn't leave him for Spurs.
I think Lloris would talk to him about it probably. There's players talk to each other. So, I mean, that's how we got him.
Do you think Lloris likes Spurs that much?
I don't know how he feels. I'm not a mind reader.
No, we got to play mind readers. We're doing the
I'm
punditry
sorry.
show.
Do I like? Okay. What goes on in his head? Man, I'm glad I got injured, so I don't have to be responsible for the shitty team.
Yeah.
That's what's going on in his head right now.
I agree. I don't know who.
They could go and get, let's see, Matt Turner. He's shaking his head, people.
No, and it's not because
they could try to go and get what's his name from Brighton? Not Justin Steele, but the other backup.
What's his name?
Robert Sanchez. He's a solid goalkeeper, shot stopper.
Well, I do think that Chelsea will get rid of either Mendy or Arrizabalaga or whatever.
Arrizabalaga.
Yeah,
I got you. That's true.
If Everton go down, Pickford's going to stay in the Prem.
Most certainly.
So there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Jose Sa, maybe.
Yeah. He got benched this weekend. Yeah, I was shocked too. I was watching the game and I was like, that's not Jose Sa. That's not a man with a goatee.
Bono from Sevilla.
Bono?
Maybe.
Sure.
I
think it'll be Navas.
Yeah, he's on the wrong side. That's a Band-Aid.
Yeah. I could try to sign David Raya from Brentford. They're going to pay a ton of money for him, but he's an excellent distributor of the ball and shot stopper. Really good shot stopper.
I guess it comes down to how much money. And again, I'm talking more about United.
Oh, we're talking about United still? I still think David Raya would be a decent signing as well. Like
Spurs is going to have to go find a diamond in the rough. They have too many things that they have to do.
Albin Lafont. Go sign him from Toulouse, I think. I don't know who he plays for anymore.
United, I could see going to get someone like Andre Onana.
Oh,
someone I forgot
about him.
I could see them getting. By the way, the AC Milan guy that you're talking about is. Oh, there's no way I'm going to say his name right.
Yeah, try that. Drop a few letters and it'll all make sense.
Mike Maynard?
Sure. I'm not going to try it.
Mike, not the first name I'm expecting from a French guy. No. And then Maignan. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know what those letters are. What if they tried to go out and get like Oblak?
Oblak, I was just about to say maybe young. Would he leave?
I don't know. Depends.
I feel like he's that type of because he plays for Atletico, right?
Yes.
I feel like he's that type of guy that would just never leave Simeone.
Well, joke's on them. Simeone is probably leaving in the summertime.
Probably. Oh, so you are a mind reader. Where's he going?
Probably like Spurs or something. So then
if he leaves Atletico, he's going back to Argentina.
Why?
Because those are the two things.
Oh, okay.
Those are the two things. Like he's defined his life by being at Atletico. Oh my God! Can you imagine it would never happen. But the football scenes, if he switched sides of Madrid.
Oh my God!
The dark horse Ancelotti.
Thibaut Courtois, because he played for Atletico, and then he went and played for Chelsea. Yeah,
but then he played for Chelsea. There was at least someone in between.
Oh, stop it! You know how
the Belgians don't care about anybody or anything.
It's not the Belgians. It was Atletico, and then him going to Real Madrid.
But Thibaut is Belgium. He's Belgian.
Yeah, I get.
He is all of Belgium. He is the country of Belgium.
Well, that's not true. That's Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, God. Well, if you ever curious if one guy can win it all, the answer is no.
That's true.
God, why couldn't we get World Cup KDB?
I know.
No, instead we got Super Saiyan KDB.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Except for he doesn't have, like, fire around him. He just gets super red.
Yeah.
gets like angry, mad face red, and then turns into like
The most
the best olive round play. Oh my god, he's so good.
untouchable. He's fantastic.
And then it was just like at that point, Holland, who you want Holland to just be Zlatan so much, because if he was just Zlatan, he would be worse. But he's not.
Like this much.
He's perfect. All he wants to do is win. And he doesn't really care.
And he's a good
So he just said, okay, KDB, what are we doing, buddy? And then it was just decimation.
Wait.
By the way, Rob Holding has more goals at the Etihad this year than Real Madrid do. So there's that stat.
Okay. I'm gonna put that somewhere else.
Hey, it's what I can hold on to.
Oh, okay.
All right. Moving on.
Sure.
Last bit of big news. Another name I'm going to struggle to say. Folarin Balogun, I believe is how you say it, has picked the USA. We finally have a goal scorer.
Let's go.
And oh, buddy, does he score goals?
Yes, he does. In bunches.
So as of right now, USA's number 9 and the USA's number 1 both play for the Arsenal. I like that.
Yep.
I like that.
I don't think he's going to stay, but that's fine.
I think he is. I think we're gonna make room for him.
Can I tell you why? He's profit. He is 100% profit. So you sell him on the his talent that he has put out this year, because that's the most you're ever going to get from him. He's not going to, I mean, he could get better, but the profit that you're going to get off of selling him this year, this coming summer, will never be as much as what it could be, what it can be.
I know, but we had the conversation earlier in the show.
Squad depth, blah, blah, blah. I understand.
About squad depth and about how guaranteeing yourself Champions League, it's exponential money. Champions League every single year is exponential money.
Yeah.
Because then you can sell players for more because they performed. And then you can buy players because they want to come play for you.
Yep.
And then you get Champions League money. And then you can sell those players because they performed. And then you can buy players because they want to play for you. And then you get the Champions League money. And then you just – and that says nothing about how much money you get for coming in second or third or fourth as opposed to fifth or sixth or seventh.
You mean in the table or actually?
Yeah, in the table.
Yeah. Well,
I
don't know.
I remember when I think it was the Champions League play-in game. I think it was a game where Ozil had that crazy deke goal where he deked like 3 defenders and the goalie.
Yes. That
was like a $40 million swing for Arsenal because it guaranteed them Champions League group stage.
Yeah.
The money is just so if I have squad depth and can guarantee myself or get closer to guaranteeing myself, because I mean, all right, so I'm not necessarily that worried about Spurs, but Newcastle has a country behind them. City have a country behind them.
Yeah, they do.
Liverpool seems to have figured out their problem.
Man U might have a country behind them.
Man U could have Qatar behind them, and if not, Eric Ten Hag is a very good manager. And we can talk about the memes and how will they ruin the title race and then they're not. No one's talking about. Taras brought this up actually. If we want to talk about bottle jobs in the Premier League this season, Man U had what kind of lead on Liverpool halfway through the season, and now they're potentially going to lose their Champions League spot to Liverpool.
That's true.
They screwed that up, but they're going to get better. I honestly think they're going to get better, even if they don't even have a country behind them.
Yeah.
Chelsea's biggest problem right now is an embarrassment of riches, and they just got one of the coaches that I think could actually clean it up.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Brighton sold everybody and still could make the Champions League this year. I'm not saying they're necessarily going to get better, but just because Arsenal had this great season, and I'm not saying this is it, we lost our chance, because we're going to get better too. We're young. We're extending everybody. It looks like Odegaard's up for an extension. We're extending Ramsdale. We've already extended Martinelli. We're extending Bukayo Saka. Our core is getting extended. We're going to sign better guys. Edu's proven he's Edo has proven he knows how to cook. But we're in a league surrounded by teams. We're about to have a better season than all but 3 Arsene Wenger seasons in terms of points. And we're not going to have anything to show for it in a trophy case.
That's true. But
because of how hard the Premier League's gotten. So, yeah, squad depth. And also, if we're playing the Champions League all the time, someone's got to be playing in the Prem.
Yeah.
I think we keep him. Everyone says that. I think we sell him. I think we keep him. And I honestly think we keep ESR. Unfortunately, I think we get rid of Reese.
He's coming to Villa.
I'd be okay with that.
Me too.
And I think you'd be okay with that.
I just said me too.
I see. I'm not saying that we're going to keep everybody and not let anyone go. I think we're going to let a lot of people go, but I think we keep Balogun. I really do. But if we don't, I think it's because we got someone lined up, or because we go for Sasado and Rice.
That's also possible.
I got baby brain, guys. My kid is a month old today.
Oh, congratulations.
Sure. I'm not one of those people like, they're 27 months, but it is a month today. People have been joking about Arsenal getting Rosado.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, who is this guy? I hate transfer seasons so much. And after the third time I read it, I was like, oh, they mean Declan Rice and Sasado. Okay. Woo, buddy.
They're already making the nickname.
They're the same person.
Yeah, right.
That's how we get the extra attacker on the field.
Oh,
we merge them into one person and they just control the midfield.
Could you imagine? It'd be Declan Rice just carrying him because of the height difference.
Also, a lot of people aren't going to think this, but I think this. I think that I think we get both, and I think we sell Thomas Partey.
I don't see why that's not a far-fetched thing. He's out of contract, in 2025?
And not only is he out of contract in 2025, I don't know if he can keep his head on his shoulders, and I don't know if that's going to get me in trouble on YouTube, but I don't know if he can keep his dick in his pants. And quite frankly, I don't think that we like that as a player.
That's true.
And also with the whole Matt Ariza thing that happened, I don't think that there's anything wrong with waiting to see if the guy's guilty or not either.
That's also true.
But I don't know if we necessarily want to keep him on the team. So
I actually kind of forgot about that whole court thing that he's got going on.
Yeah.
Kind of like that's weird. Like a lot of those things get brushed under unless,
Well, it's very different. Under,
they just get the magnifying glass.
England's trying to not crucify someone until they deserve to be crucified.
Oh, what?
We don't know how to do that.
Weird. Huh. Well.
All right. So to recap, Arsenal broke my heart, but I'm going to be able to drink it down and help Habitat for Humanity. May 28th, Wolf's Beer Garden in Albany. Maybe also the one in Schenectady. I don't know. Yes. We'll be at the one in Albany.
Yes, we will.
And it'll be fantastic. Live streaming from there. Do not expect a show next Thursday. We will be live streaming. Mm-hmm. Aaron and I have yet to talk about when we're going to get there and set up, but we are going to start talking before the games.
Yes.
I want some of the interviews to be done before then. So we'll talk to Woodsy and some other guys, get some guys in there early. If you want to see Aaron and I at the beer garden, we will be there at 10 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Unless I'm looking for a house. I might also be looking for a house, but we'll watch the Villa-Liverpool match, and then I will at least stay for the Arsenal-Nottingham Forest match. So
don't leave me with the Liverpool people. They might try to smother me. Or try to convert
They won't try to smother you. They might try to convert you. They won't try to smother you.
No, they're nice.
The core group's very nice. The core group is very nice.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Woodsy's the guy's putting together the Habitat for Humanity thing. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
In fact, he keeps wanting to be on the show, and at a certain point, I think we might just ask him.
Okay.
Hey, want to be the third?
His trial run could be the 28th.
Third, yeah. Trial run on the 28th. If he likes it and commits, we can talk about it over the summer. You and I got to talk about a summer schedule, too.
Yep.
It will not be weekly. We got stuff going on.
Yep.
It will not be weekly, nor will there be weekly things to talk about. And quite frankly, I don't like transfer season anyway. But when we have news to talk about, we will talk about it.
Yes, sir. So, there's always a plan.
There's always a plan. We haven't made it yet. There's a plan to make a plan.
Exactly.
So we're going to do it. All right. That is Swinging at Chins for, I guess, match day 36. Normally by this time in the season, we've caught up on match days, but half the teams are still on 35 games. So
What was it? Brentford.
there we're at. Match day 36, match day 37. Thank God Man City play on Sunday, so I don't have to watch them win the league. That is that. Everybody, I hope you have a wonderful time. If you're in upstate New York, bring your plants in. It's going to freeze tonight.
Yep. Make sure
If you're anywhere else, I don't care about your weather. And with that, have a good one.
Toodles.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for listening. Links for anything that you could be interested in, whether it's the YouTube channel, our podcast links, our social media links, everything's in the description below. Thank you very much for listening.